Hello all, my name is Shalini Singh and this is my second video. My first video was Introduction to Civil Engineering, the link of which is given below in the description box. This video is about open channel flow and I have divided it into parts. This is the first part, the contents of which are Introduction, difference between open channel flow and pipe flow, geometrical parameters of a channel, and continuity equation. First of all, what is an open channel flow? An open channel flow is a conduit in which water flows with a free surface. And here, the free surface should be in contact with atmospheric pressure. Now the channels can be prismatic or non-prismatic. Prismatic channels are those channels which have constant cross-section and slope throughout the channels, while non-prismatic channels have variable cross-section and slope. All artificial channels are prismatic channels, while all natural channels such as rivers are non-prismatic channels. Open channel flow can be divided into steady flow and unsteady flow. Steady flow is time-independent flow. Here the flow depth does not change with time, while unsteady flow is time-dependent flow. The flow depth changes with time. Steady flow is divided into uniform and non-uniform flow. Uniform flow, the flow depth remains constant everywhere along the channel, while in non-uniform flow, the flow depth changes along the channel. The non-uniform flow or varied flow is further divided into gradually varied flow, rapidly varied flow, and spatially varied flow. In gradually varied flow, the depth variation along the channel is gradual, while in rapidly varied flow, the depth variation along the channel is sudden. Now, gradually varied flow and rapidly varied flow assumes that no flow is externally added to or taken out of the canal system. However, if some flow is added to or abstracted from the system, the resulting varied flow is called spatially varied flow. Now unsteady flow, here uniform unsteady flow is practically impossible. So there is only non-uniform flow or varied flow for unsteady flow. And again it is divided into gradually varied flow, rapidly varied flow, and spatially varied flow. Difference between open channel flow and pipe flow. The flow in open channel is caused by gravity force provided by the sloping bottom, while in pipe flow, the pipe runs full because of hydraulic pressure. In open channels, the shapes can be triangular, rectangular, circular, trapezoidal, or any shape attained by natural streams. But in pipe flow, the cross-section of flow is fixed. So here we can see the different shapes of the open channel: circular, trapezoidal, and triangular. The position of free surface in open channel flow is likely to change with time and space, while in pipe flow, the flowing liquid entirely fills the pipe section. The surface roughness in open channel flow varies with the depth of flow, while in pipe flow, the surface roughness depends on the material of the pipe. Here, Bernoulli's principle has been applied to show the difference between open channel flow and pipe flow. So in this figure, we can see the piezometric head in open channel is Z plus Y, Y is the depth of flow, while Z is the datum head. And we can see here the hydraulic grade line coincides with the water surface. While the piezometric head in pipe flow is Z plus P by gamma from here to here. The maximum velocity in open channel flow occurs a little distance below the water surface here, while in pipe flow the maximum velocity occurs at the center of the pipe. In open channel flow, the shape of the velocity profile is dependent on the channel roughness, which is not in the case of pipe flow. Geometrical parameters of a channel. The first one is depth of flow. Here we see the side view of a channel section. So the depth of flow Y is the vertical distance between the free surface and the channel bottom, while the depth of flow section, which is Yn, that is the normal or perpendicular distance from the channel bottom to the free surface. In the given figure, we see that the channel bottom makes an angle theta with the horizontal. So the angle between Y and Yn will also be theta. So Yn will be equal to Y cos theta, and if theta is very small, Y should be equal to Yn. So the depth of flow will be equal to depth of flow section or normal depth when the angle theta is very small. Cross-sectional area. This is the area normal to the direction of flow. Wetted area or area of flow. This is the area which is in contact with water. So you see, for a rectangular channel, the area in contact with water will be B into Y. Wetted perimeter. This is the perimeter of the channel which is in contact with water. So for a rectangular channel, P will be Y plus B plus Y. So P equals to B plus 2Y. Hydraulic radius. Hydraulic radius is the ratio of wetted area by wetted perimeter. So for a rectangular channel, if we see here, area will be By and P will be B plus 2Y. And if for a very wide channel, B will be much larger than Y and B plus 2Y will be equivalent to B. Then R will be By by B, which will be equal to Y. Top width T. Width of channel section at free surface is the top width. So for trapezoidal channel, T will be this much, but for rectangular channel, T will be equal to B. So next one is the hydraulic depth. Hydraulic depth is the ratio of wetted area by top width. And for a rectangular channel, A will be equal to By and T will be equal to B. So D will be equal to Y. We see here that the hydraulic depth for a rectangular channel is equal to depth of flow of the channel. Uniform flow. Uniform flow. Two types of forces are developed in an open channel flow. The force which causes the flow, the gravitational force, and the force of resistance which opposes the motion. The uniform flow will be obtained when the resistance force equals the force causing the flow, the water depth Y, the flow area A, discharge Q, and the velocity distribution at all sections throughout the entire channel must remain constant. The slope of the energy gradient line, the water surface slope, and the channel bed slope are equal. Chasey and Manning developed uniform flow formula which are best known to hydraulic engineers and are universally accepted. Chasey formula for uniform flow. This is based on two assumptions. First, the force resisting the flow per unit of wetted area is proportional to the square of the velocity. And second, the force causing the flow must be equal to the force of resistance. So here we see that according to Chasey, resisting force per unit wetted area is proportional to V square, that will be equal to kV square, where K is a constant. Wetted area equals to wetted perimeter P into L. Therefore, force of resistance will be equal to KLP V square. So here we see the figure of uniform flow in open channel flow. So this is the energy head line, hydraulic grade line, then the channel bottom and the datum. So we see the channel bottom makes an angle theta with the horizontal. This is the piezometric head, this is the kinetic head. So the force causing flow will be equal to component of weight of water in the direction of flow. So this will be equal to W sin theta, which will be equal to gamma ALS. In uniform flow, the channel slope, the water surface slope and the energy line slope are equal to each other. So SO, SW, SE will be equal to S, which will be equal to sin theta. Now force causing flow is equal to force of resistance. Therefore, gamma ALS will be equal to KLP V square, or V will be equal to square root gamma by K into A by P into S, which is given by C square root RS, where R is the hydraulic radius equal to A by P and C is equal to square root of gamma by K, that is the flow resistance factor known as Chasey's constant. And the Chasey's resistance factor C is dependent on the channel slope S, the hydraulic radius R and the coefficient of roughness N. Manning's formula for uniform flow. Now Manning gave the following formula for velocity of flow in a uniform channel. V is equal to 1 by N R raised to the power 2 by 3 S raised to the power half. V is the mean velocity in meter per second, R is the hydraulic radius in meter, N is the roughness coefficient or rugosity coefficient, also known as Manning's N, and S is the channel slope. Now the relation between Chasey's and Manning's N is given by this equation. C equals to 1 by N R raised to the power 1 by 6. But Manning's formula gives satisfactory results only if the value of N is assumed correctly. And its N depends on various factors which are surface roughness, The size and shape of roughness particle forming the bed and bank of the channel affect the roughness coefficient. The fine grained materials have a low value of N, whereas coarse grained materials have high value of N. Vegetation. The height, density and type of vegetation affects the value of N, and in general the growth of vegetation increases the value of N. Channel irregularities and channel alignment. Irregularities and abrupt changes in the channel section increases the value of N, and the value of N also increases with the sharpness of the curves of the channel. Silting and scarring. Deposition of silt in an irregular and rough channel makes the channel smooth, and hence the value of N decreases, while scarring makes the channels rough and therefore increases the value of N. Stage and discharge. With the increase in the stage, which is the water surface elevation, the value of N decreases. Therefore, for increasing discharge, the value N decreases, but at very high discharge, the value of N may increase due to the movement of bed material. Transport of suspended and bed material. The suspended and bed material flowing in the channel increases the value of N. This video is the first part of the series on open channel. The remaining parts will be posted in due time. I really hope this video is useful for the students of civil engineering. Thank you and God bless you.